Students, welcome to Legacy IS Academy. Today we are going to discuss another very interesting topic. That is, you might have seen in news recent times, sometimes the criminals or the people who are charged with certain crimes are basically awarded judicial custody, while many times they are also awarded police custody. So in this video, we are going to understand in details what do we mean by the term custody itself in legal terms, what is judicial custody, what is police custody, and what are the major differences between these two. But first of all, to give you the background of this particular issue, why this particular term has been coming into news. So recently, Delhi's Avenue Court has sent the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia to the judicial custody at least till March 20 in connection with a corruption case that has been alleged against him related to the irregularity is in what now has been described in the Delhi, that was the earlier excise policy. So Sisodia was arrested on last month on February 26, and since then has been in the custody of CBI, that is Central Bureau of Investigation. And as far as the court's statement is concerned, the court has clearly stated that an application to send the accused to judicial custody has been filed. It is submitted that the police custody is no longer required and same may be sought later if required. So in this context, let us try to understand the legal parameters or legal definition of these terms. So first of all, what do we mean by the term custody itself? So as far as the Indian laws are concerned, the custody has not been clearly defined. So general way, what we can understand, the custody can be defined as the state of being kept by the police while awaiting trial against certain crime. If you look at the Criminal Procedure Code, Section 57 of Criminal Procedure Code clearly states that any person who has been arrested by the police without a warrant issued by judicial magistrate cannot be detained for more than 24 hours. That means after 24 hours, if the police has arrested certain person, they have to put him or her against a magistrate and then take the further action. So let us try to understand what is custody as per as the legal principles of India is concerned. So as we have discussed the Criminal Procedure Code, so in the same Criminal Procedure Code, if we take a look at section 167, it also clearly states that if an investigation cannot be completed within 24 hours, the detainee can still be kept in custody. However, there is a rule behind that. The police cannot randomly keep any person in the custody. Police can only keep a person in custody beyond 24 hours if and only if there is a well-founded grounds for believing the accusations against him, and if the police warrants and police require that more time is required to investigate these cases properly. However, if this has to be done, it requires a police officer at least not below the rank of sub-inspector to transfer the copy of the diary entry in detainee's case to the judicial magistrate, and then the judicial magistrate, after taking the matter into cognizance, can further authorize the accused detention for a period of 15 days or forward it to another magistrate who might have better jurisdiction or more strong jurisdiction to try the case. So this is the entire process that is taken by the police department if someone is taken into the custody. Now let us try to understand about the procedure of the extension of the custody. As we have discussed that if police warrants, the judicial magistrate can actually give the custody to police for at least 15 days, and after that judicial custody can further be extended up to 90 days, but not in all offenses. The offenses such as those offenses which are punishable by death, life imprisonment, or at least imprisonment of 10 years or more, only in these kind of cases the judicial custody can be extended up to 90 days period. And in this context, again, the Criminal Procedure Code section 167 clearly state that how and what is the procedure of custody that has to be taken during the stage of the investigation. So this is the most important code that deals with the whole process of the custody in the Indian penal system. Now, custody can be granted in two manners. Either the accused can be given judicial custody or can be given under judicial custody or can be given under the police custody. So let us try to understand first what do we mean by the term judicial custody. So in simple way, judicial custody can be defined when a person is detained on the order of judicial magistrate and then he or she is lodged in a central or state prison. In some cases, courts may directly remand a person to judicial custody if the court has concluded that there is no need for police custody or extension of the police custody. Now, in this context, again, a very, very important section is there in Criminal Procedure Code, that is section 436A, and it clearly states that a person in judicial custody who has served half the maximum punishment that can be given for an offense can apply for a default bail if their trial is pending. And this is very, very important provision, because in India we have the biggest problem that the judicial system, the prison system is facing, is a high number of under trial prisoners who are lost all across different jails of India. So thus, by provision for this default bail, we can actually depressurize and decongest our prison system. So let us try to understand what we mean by term police custody. So police custody is basically when a person is detained in a police station or lockup itself when he or she is believed to have committed a crime. Now, police custody requires the accused to be furnished before the magistrate after the passage of 24 hours or within the 24-hour period. The most important point about police custody is that if a person is granted in the police custody, the investigating officer or investigative authority have full authority to interrogate the person. So let us try to understand now the major differences between judicial custody and police custody. So first of all, the difference is in the place of detention itself. As far as judicial custody is concerned, the accused is sent to jail or prison, while in the case of police custody, the accused is either put in the lockup or the police station. The second difference is that in judicial custody, the police or investigating authority cannot interrogate a person directly, while in police custody or in judicial custody, we can say they require court's permission for the questioning, because obviously the accused is in jail. So if accused in the jail, the investigative authority cannot go directly to the jail and question the accused. So they have to take first of all the permission of the court. Third, we can say in judicial custody, it is the responsibility of the magistrate as far as the behavior of the accused, or we can say the decision about the accused is concerned, while in the case of police custody, the person has a right to have a legal counsel. The next and the last difference is that as far as the accused is in judicial custody, any decision regarding his or her actions about his or her daily activities are taken after considering the prison manual, while in the case of police custody, he has the right to be informed of the grounds on which he or she has been arrested, what is the procedure that the police is, or what are the charges that the police is trying to file against him or her, and all the actions that police is going to take against him or her. So these are the major differences, as we can see, between the judicial custody and the police custody. So as you have discussed slightly before in the video, that in India we have a very large population, a very large percentage of people who are basically facing trial. The trial has not concluded and still they are lodged into prison because of the judicial custody. And if you look at the figure, almost 70.9% of the under trial prisoners were confined for period of up to 1 year. And thus, crowding jails with under trial prisoners, as the Supreme Court has rightly observed, goes against the established legal principles of presumption of innocence. And the Supreme Court has directed also that bail, not jail, should be the norm. Jail should only be given in the exceptional circumstances. Normally, bail should be granted to the accused wherever it is required. And thus, other problem that we see in the case of under trial prisoners is that it is the marginalized class of India, that is the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, women, and these economically backward people are the ones who make up the majority of the under trial prisoners, and their number stands somewhere to about 66% of those imprisoned and under trial. So that is also something that we have to take into consideration. And it is in this regard, legal expert believe that it is high time India's judicial system, prison system, the policing system should undergo a heavy reform. So I hope you understood about this particular video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your fellow aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you very much.